Come and see, a universal invitation to experience. The phrase come and see is often a direct invitation to experience something oneself, transcending theoretical knowledge or mere intellectual agreement. This theme can be found across multiple traditions and philosophies. It suggests that true wisdom is not just learned through reading or hearing about it, but must be lived and experienced. In Christian theology, Jesus invites his disciples with the words, "Come and see," when they ask where he is staying, John 1:39. This invitation to experience Jesus' presence is not just to accept a doctrine, but to experience God's living presence. In Tantra, the sacred is something that must be directly felt. Tantric practices often involve rituals, mantras, and meditations that are meant to lead to immediate experience of the divine. It's about engaging deeply with life, not merely observing it from the outside. And through this engagement, one comes into contact with deeper levels of reality. Similarly, in Yogacara, the emphasis is on personal, direct perception. Yogacara focuses on how our minds shape and filter our reality, and thus the call to come and see in Yogacara would encourage individuals to observe their perceptions and mental constructs. By doing so, they can break free from illusion, or Maya, and see the true nature of reality. Nietzsche, the revaluation of all values. Friedrich Nietzsche argued for the revaluation of all values, which challenges conventional beliefs and ideologies that shape societies. Nietzsche saw truth as subjective and personal, making his philosophy resonate with the invitation to come and see. Nietzsche believed that every individual should create their own meaning, and the path towards personal enlightenment requires confronting the abyss of chaos, not relying on external moral authorities or systems. Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch, overman, a person who creates their own values and embraces life's challenges, is about transcending the traditional dichotomies of good and evil, life and death, and embracing life in its entirety. This resonates with the middle way of Buddha's teachings and the Tantric understanding of transcending duality. For Nietzsche, the only way to truly know oneself is to step beyond accepted norms, to question everything, and thus to come and see the world as it truly is, with no pre-existing frameworks to limit our perception. Nietzsche's eternal recurrence also calls for the individual to live fully, as though each moment were to be lived eternally. Coming and seeing is akin to fully living in the present, not relying on the past or future, but fully immersing oneself in the now. Tantra, embodying the sacred in the everyday. In Tantra, the sacred is not something distant, but immanent in every aspect of life. The sacred is in the body, the senses, and the physical world itself. Tantra holds that through conscious engagement with the body, breath, and mind, one can experience a direct, immediate connection to the divine. This is a very different approach than the traditional religious practices that may prioritize renunciation or asceticism. In Tantra, the invitation to come and see is a call to embrace life's pleasures, challenges, and contradictions fully, not as distractions from spiritual growth, but as pathways to enlightenment. Tantric practices involve mantras, visualizations, rituals, and other methods to experience the sacred in the physical world, as every moment can be an opportunity to connect with the divine. In this, it parallels the concept of come and see, because it asks the practitioner to experience divinity directly, not through distant, abstract knowledge, but through embodied experience. Yogacara, the mind and the nature of reality. Yogacara, a school of Buddhist philosophy, teaches that our perception of reality is shaped by our minds. The key concept here is shunyata, or emptiness, that things do not have intrinsic existence apart from the mind that perceives them. The invitation to come and see in the context of Yogacara is an invitation to directly experience the nature of the mind, how we shape reality, and how we can transform our perceptions through meditation and mindfulness. The Yogacara approach focuses on consciousness and its various layers, and through practices like meditation, one can see how perception is not a mere reflection of external reality, but a creation of the mind. When you come and see in Yogacara, you perceive the world not as it is, but as your mind shapes it. Understanding this leads to liberation as the practitioner recognizes the impermanence and interconnectedness of all things. The Bible, a call to know God personally. In the Christian Bible, the phrase "come and see" is used by Jesus to invite people into a personal experience with him. Christianity calls its followers into a relationship with the divine, not merely intellectual agreement with doctrinal. Let me start over here. So in the Christian Bible, the phrase "come and see" is used by Jesus to invite people into a personal experience with him. Christianity calls its followers into a relationship with the divine, not merely intellectual agreement with doctrinal points. The Christian message is one of immediacy, inviting each individual to engage with God directly, to experience God's presence, and to experience transformational love. The story of the apostles in the Gospels highlights that many disciples started with skepticism, but were called to follow Jesus and see for themselves. This mirrors the idea of direct experience over theory or intellectual knowledge. They came and saw, and through their experiences with Jesus, they discovered something beyond traditional religious teachings. Awe, sacredness, and meaning. The concept of awe, explored by Dacher Keltner, speaks to the experience of the sacred in the world. Awe occurs when one is confronted with something vast and overwhelming that challenges current understanding and perception. This feeling is often transformative, causing the individual to perceive greater interconnectedness and meaning in life. In Keltner's research, awe can lead to more selflessness, humility, and a sense of being part of something larger than oneself. This directly relates to the spiritual path that invites one to come and see. The experience of awe pulls us out of our limited perspectives and shows us a more expansive view of reality. For Nietzsche, awe is not just a passive reaction to the world, but something that challenges us to embrace the infinite complexity of existence. It shakes us out of our habitual ways of thinking and seeing the world. Awe can be both life-affirming and life-denying. It leads us into the unknown, where we must find meaning for ourselves. The shared message, experience over doctrine. Across all these symptoms, whether it's Nietzsche's philosophy, Tantric spirituality, the practices of Yogacara, the Bible's teachings, or the experience of awe, the common thread is the call to direct experience. The invitation to come and see is not about simply believing or intellectually agreeing with something. It's about stepping into the unknown and engaging with the world as it is. In Tantra, the sacred is not an abstract belief, but is woven into every experience. In Yogacara, reality itself is shaped by perception, and one must come to directly experience the nature of mind to transcend illusion. Nietzsche and Tantra invite us to confront duality, to live beyond the polar opposites, and find the middle way between extremes. The Bible and the concept of awe teach us that the world is full of sacred meaning, but we must experience it personally. The message across all of these traditions is that truth is found not in books or doctrines, but in direct, lived experience. We are meant to embrace life fully, to experience it with eyes wide open, and through that experience, we come to see the sacredness of all things. We're invited to come and see. And this just came from simply, ehipassiko in Pali, in Sanskrit, it's ehipassiko. This idea of come and see, right? The invitation to experience for oneself. Don't trust me. Actually, come and see.